I'm here with Iowa State University College of Design. Could you guys introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about your guys' project and the process behind it?
Sure. Yes. Hi, I'm Merate, Barakat, and this is my colleague Miray.
Miray, Boğa.
And we're from Iowa State. I'm an associate professor of architecture.
Industrial design partner.
She's an industrial design partner. And the project started at the beginning of the summer. We were talking about fractals and sound, and we were looking at different ways of teaching the idea of understanding from natural systems how can you integrate that into design at different scales, because her scale is at the product design and my scale is at building and urban scale, and so there's a wide range.
And also sound.
And I also teach sound, and yes. And so she mentioned the word fractals, and we were talking about whales, and she loves whales. And one of the things that I wanted to try to explain is that natural sounds have a fractal exhibition, but it's mathematical. It's very hard to show it visually. And so we thought, how do we show the visual aspect of fractals and then turn it into sound so young designers can be interested and understand that math is not so bad. For example.
And it's around, like
yes,
all around.
and it's around us, and it's in our skin, it's in our food.
Yeah, actually, we put some examples here. In all kinds of natural beings have this fractal structure, and also natural sounds have this fractal structure. So we wanted to show that there's a relation between those.
Yeah. And so when we applied to come here, we were thinking Seattle, and we've got a coastline, and also coastlines exhibit fractal systems. And then because we were talking about whales, we were like, it's kismet because, Wales, Seattle. And so we built our narrative around that, because also learning from whales, not just about their sound, but how they communicate and how they create their social cohesion through sound, through song, and they have their pods that have a song, and if a song breaks out, it then moves from one community to the next, and it could travel from Australia all the way to the coast on this side. And then there's a lonely whale, the lonely whale.
52 hertz whale. Actually, that story inspired us because the scientists noticed that there is a whale out there which is very lonely because it was an outlier. It's a breed of humpback whale and the blue whale. That's why its song is out of the natural range. And some scientists were chasing it to find that whale. And that story was so fascinating for us. And we built a relation between design and that lonely whale, because design is chasing that outliers to find an innovation point. So yeah, it was the background story.
Yeah, and at the same time, there was a story out there about how buildings that sort of relax also produce low frequencies that we can't hear, and it is the origin of the feeling that people feel that there's a ghost. So it's the beginning of of the myth of that there's a house, that a ghost, because we can feel the low frequencies even if we can't hear them, but because we can feel them and we can't hear them, there must be a presence. So yeah, and so we thought maybe we can come up with something for the kids to learn, and so we've been looking for something to work with, and I've been looking at that prototype, and it's an open source from Magazine. But they stopped selling it, but because we are strong believers in the open source community, we engage with them, and I found it online, and so we built it from scratch because we couldn't buy it.
That is amazing. So you learned how to build this over the summer?
Yes, I have been teaching and working with electronics and Arduino for a while, but I haven't really soldered. So I usually work with breadboards. So I unlocked the soldering with lots of YouTube and lots of open source. Yeah.
That's incredible. Can I ask, is it graphite? Did you guys choose that because it is the easiest to close the circuit with, or is there a specific reason?
I mean, part of it is because it's part of the prototype. and that's what they were doing. But also, a lot of things create capacitance, which is essentially passing electricity. So, like when you stand on the scale and it's measuring your muscle to bone ratio, it's passing electricity. But there are artists out there that can use fruit to produce music. And so it wasn't, the graphite was just, I think, the easiest thing, but the prototype uses HB pencils, but it doesn't have enough graphite in it. And so we switched to that type of pencil so we can put 6B pencils so we can have, so the kids don't stress when they're drawing. That produces more electricity faster.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Last question for y'all and then let you go free. I swear. As you are at the design festival, could you guys give like a little bit of a statement of like how you think this project fits into the whole theme of this year of the influx, intention, and habit, etc.?
Yeah. Actually, it's coming from co-living, like more than human design approach, and we saw this influx and inhabit and in with the in part of the theme, intention and inform, and we changed it through like from in to co actually because we are living with these creatures. Seattle is living with these creatures, but they're not obvious like in daily life because they're under the sea. So we wanted to emphasize that we are co-living with these non-human creatures. And also I love whales. That's the part of it.
I think also to teach designers how to learn from biological systems that integrate into the world without actually consuming it is part of why we really believe that this is a big part of design. So we don't just draw like build a building that looks like a tree. We want a building that acts like a tree, that can decompose like a tree, that can be integrated and work the structure and the capillary reaction and how the ventilation and the piping passes through. But that could also, we can learn from the whales how to make our cities more cohesive, our communities more cohesive, as opposed to not even knowing how they do it. And so that is the ethos behind the idea of understanding Co-Flux, I guess.
That's great. Thank you so much.